Hello. Okay, so yesterday, or whatever day it was that you watched, we were on the Pax Romana. In your notes, that's all of this stuff right here. We talked about the Pax Romana and the expansion of Rome and the peace and all that good stuff. And we talked about a little bit about culture, the paterfamilias, men, women, females. Oh, men, women, slaves, all that good stuff. Okay. Still moving along with culture. In Rome, we're going to start here with religion. Okay, the Roman religion originally is the same as the Greek religion. Greek mythology, gods, goddesses, Zeus, Aphrodite, I can't think of names, Ares, except they have different names. They have different names. Let me move this. They have different names because the Greeks speak Greek and the Romans speak Latin. Okay, so names are different. Thus, Zeus, he's still the same old guy, questionable, king of the gods, sky god. Yeah, likes girls way too much. Remember? He's still the same. Uh-oh, I got a remind from a kid. Um, anyway, he's still the same God. He just has a new name. It's not Zeus, it's Jupiter. Okay? Let's see. Aphrodite, goddess of love, beauty, sex, all that good stuff. Yeah? Not Aphrodite, Venus. Ares, the god of war. No, that's Mars. Are you noticing something? Let me think. Hermes, the messenger god. Yeah? Mercury. Poseidon, god of the sea, the ocean, the water. Well, that's not really true, but that's okay. He's not Poseidon anymore. He's Neptune. Hades, god of the underworld. Pluto. One year when I was doing this in class, I had a kid that was like, they named their gods after the planets? The planets were named after these gods. Flip it around. Okay, the planets were named after these gods. So yeah, they're still the same stories. It's still the same mythological stuff. It's just different names because you have different language. Okay, until something happens. Well, we need to deal with a new religion. Okay, we've talked about several religions already. Here we go. We have Christianity coming up. All right, this right here is Rome at this point. Okay, you have the red stuff is what they got like to begin with. That's like what they got first. And then you have this kind of pinky purple stuff that Julius Caesar got this up here. And then some other guys at the same time got this. All of the green stuff was taken during the Punic Wars, remember? Then during the second triumvirate here, we had like Lepidus up here and Octavian up here taking Anatolia. And then we also have Octavian who gets Egypt with the death of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. And then during it depends on who you are, 100 to 200 years of peace in Rome, you have this orange stuff that gets taken eventually. Okay, if you remember, this up here is Britain. This right here, okay, down the Danube and Rhine rivers up to down here where the Goths live. They matter, especially for tomorrow. Then we have this right here, Palestine has just been taken. Palestine, if you remember when we dealt with Mesopotamia, is where who is this? The Phoenicians. And then we have the Hebrews right here, the Phoenicians and the Hebrews. Okie dokie. Okay, the Hebrews. The Hebrews are the Jews, remember? okay? And the Jews, here it is. The Jews worship one God named Yahweh or Jehovah. Remember? Okay. Well, we have a Jew named Jesus. Jesus von Nazareth. Jesus of Nazareth. Okay. I've had kids in the past, they're like, I thought he was born in Bethlehem. If you know like Bible stories and stuff, he was born in Bethlehem. However, he lived most of his life in Nazareth, so his historical name is Jesus of Nazareth because that's where he spent most of his life. Okay. That being said, don't let his dates freak you out. Do you notice anything weird about his dates? Jesus was born in the year 4 BC. What does BC mean? Before Christ. Who is Christ? Jesus. So Jesus was born in the year 4 before Jesus. What? Okay, listen. It was the Romans who did the division in the timeline, the division between BC and AD time. Okay. They didn't know exactly when Jesus of Nazareth was born. They guessed as best as they could. We today look at historical documents about Jesus, specifically historical Roman documents about a man named Jesus that was crucified in the year 29 AD for the exact same thing that the Bible says Jesus was crucified for. I'll get to that in a little bit. So we assume that it's the same Jesus. Well, if that's true, okay, and he was crucified in the year 29 AD, and he was 33 years old, then he was born here. I always have kids who that blows their mind a little bit. They're like, so Jesus was born before Jesus? Just go with it. This is when you just smile and nod. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Again, it's because when the Romans created it, they didn't have a specific date. They were guessing. Today, we know it's not right. We know he was born in 4 BC. But are we going to change the BC AD timeline? Can you imagine if we did that? And we moved year 0. Remember, there is no year 0. Right here to 4. That means everything would actually be 4 years more. So we aren't in 2020 right now. We're in 2024. I wasn't born in 1978. I was born in 1982. You weren't born whenever you were born. You were born. Okay, it gets way too confusing. So we just kind of leave everything and know that the Romans, oops, they weren't quite right. Okay? So don't let that freak you out too much. If you're totally confused right now, that's okay. Just move on. So Jesus is a Jew, okay? He's born in the area of Palestine, yeah, and he's going to start a whole new religion. But here's the thing. Christianity and Judaism are tied together. Christianity uses the Jewish Holy Scriptures, the Torah, the first 5 books of the Christian Bible. Christianity also uses the Old Testament, which is like Jewish historical stuff, as well as like Jewish prophecy and stuff like that. Christianity is a religion that comes out of Judaism. So because Jesus was a Jew, and because Christianity comes out of Judaism, there are some, what's the word? I can't think of the word. There are some things that are the same with both religions, such as the head God. I say head God, the God, Yahweh, Jehovah, capital G God. Same God. The Jews and the Christians worship the same God. Okay, so what's the difference? Just wait, I'll get there. Okay, Jesus starts teaching when he's 30 years old, by the way. he starts teaching love God, love other people. He's teaching be kind, be meek, be humble. And there's an eternal kingdom for Christians, people who believe. Who believe what? Who believe in God? Yeah, except there's more. If this right here, love God, love others, and heaven exists for y'all, okay? If that was it, would he have been crucified? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Okay, biblically speaking, Jesus does not start coming out saying, I am God, I'm the Son of God. He doesn't do that, okay? He's talking about loving God, the Jewish God, okay? Putting other people first, that kind of thing, like this heaven type idea. People are down with that. People are cool with that. And then towards the end of his ministry, again, it lasted about 3 years, it comes out who he is. Well, who is he? The Messiah. Okay, stop right there. A Messiah is a savior, someone who saves you. Okay, listen. The Jews, and kids are always like, so what's the big difference in Judaism and Christianity? Y'all, there's a lot. But the biggest difference is how Jesus is seen. Who is Jesus? That is the biggest difference between the two. In Judaism, okay, Jews are waiting for a Messiah to come, a savior. They've been promised a Messiah in the Torah and the Old Testament, and they're still, to this day, 2020, right now, still waiting for that Messiah. They don't believe Jesus was the Messiah. They believe Jesus was a prophet and he was a teacher, but he wasn't actually the Messiah. Christians say, Jews, you missed it. That was the Messiah you were waiting for. That's the biggest difference, is how Jesus is seen. There's other differences, okay? There's all kinds of other differences. We could talk for the next 5 weeks about all the differences, okay? But the biggest thing is how Jesus is seen. In Judaism, Jesus is a prophet, a teacher. He speaks for God, but he's not the Messiah. In Christianity, however, he is viewed as a spiritual king, a Messiah, because he is the Son of God. Okay, it doesn't mean son like we think of father son. I know you're like, but he got very pregnant. I know, but what I mean by that phrase, the Son of God, okay, is that he is God in human form. Like if Zeus turned himself into a bull or something so that a human could actually look at him. Kind of the same idea, okay? God in human form. Okay, actually, Jesus isn't the first person who says that. Someone else does. Peter, one of his disciples. We'll get there. We'll talk about Peter a little bit more. Oh, I thought I had him in the notes down here, but I didn't. Just kidding. Anyway, Peter actually says, I believe you're the Son of God. You were the Messiah. That's when things start happening. One of the things that Jesus is teaching, okay, is put God first above all others. There is no other God. That's like commandment number 1 for the Jews and the Christians, okay? And what starts happening is you start having Christians who are questioning authority. Guys, there's nothing wrong. Okay, are you ready? Hold on to your seats. There's nothing wrong with questioning authority. Depends on how you do it. There's nothing wrong at all with saying, Miss, why do we have to do this? I'll tell you why. I don't have a problem with that. I feel like, now this is just Sherilyn opinion, okay? Take it or leave it. I feel like when people in an authoritative position have a problem with questions, maybe there's a problem with the person in control. It's just me. But here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with asking. Why do we have to do this? As long as you accept the answer. And see, there are some of Jesus's followers at this time, some Christians, who are asking Jesus some questions that are just fine. I think it's in the book of Matthew. I don't remember exactly where, but I think it's in the book of Matthew. He actually runs into some people who are like, hey, Jesus, do we have to pay our taxes to Caesar? I mean, Rome owns them. Rome has taken over Palestine. And they say, okay, wait. If we're not supposed to put any other gods above our God, this God right here, God, yes? Well, the Roman emperors claim to be God. So if I pay my taxes, am I worshiping another God by giving money to the Roman emperor who's also a God? Because I don't want to do that. Guys, there's nothing wrong with that question. Nothing. Jesus answers it. He says, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Give unto God what is God's. You're like, what the crap does that mean? It means whoever has been, oh, this might be touchy. I'm teaching history, yeah? Not anything else modern. What that means from his point of view is whoever God has put in charge is there for a reason. The Jews didn't like that the Romans owned them, that the Romans controlled them, that they had to pay their taxes to Rome. Ugh, gross. But Jesus says, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Whoever is your temporal, your worldly leader, yeah, you follow him. Jesus is saying it's not a surprise to God that Rome took us over. Maybe there's a reason that Rome took us over. I will tell you this right now. If Rome had not taken over Palestine when they did, this would not have happened, the crucifixion. How do you know? I'll tell you in just a minute. For Jesus to be crucified, which it says in the Old Testament that he would be, Rome has to be in charge, not the Jews. The Jews don't crucify. Rome does. God says, oh, just kidding. Jesus says, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Yes, you pay your taxes, but give to God what is God's. You give God your love and your heart. But if you're expected to pay taxes and you follow the law, then that's what you're expected to do. Somewhere, I don't know where exactly in the Bible, but somewhere it also states something to the effect of, if you are being asked to do something that goes against God's law, then you don't have to do it. All of y'all are like, heck yeah. So when my mom says, take out the trash, no, because God's law says honor mom and dad. So it's kind of a wishy-washy line, yeah? And some of the Christians go, oh, okay, so give to Caesar what is Caesar's. I have to pay my taxes. Darn it. And some of these early Christians go, I don't feel good doing that because that means that I'm giving money to a god. And I don't believe that the Roman emperor is a god. So I'm not going to do it. Okay, listen. Rome at first, when Christianity first starts and it first pops up, Rome doesn't care about Christianity. Rome is such a big empire. Look, okay? They have religions from the Anatolia people here. They have the religion of the Phoenicians. They have the religion of Egypt. They have the religion of the Hebrews. They have the religion of all the North Africans. They have the religion of all of these people. And they're all different from Rome, the city. Rome doesn't have a problem with different religions. The problem is, another person asks a question. Is there anything wrong with asking questions? No. Somebody asked Jesus while he's teaching, hey, so which commandment is the most important? And Jesus says, you shall love your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. That's the first commandment. Put no other gods above God. He says that's most important. Okay, Christians say, got it. What about the emperor, though? Who is a god? You're going to end up with, okay, pockets of these early Christians who go, I'm not kneeling. When the Roman emperor walks in the room, I will be respectful and I'm not going to like yell at him or anything, but I'm not worshiping him. Because my God is the only God that exists, and I will not worship someone else. I will not bow down. I will respect him. I will follow his laws, but I'm not going to bow. Historically speaking, is that going to be a problem in Rome? That's going to start making some of the Roman governors take notice and go, hey, what's up with that Christian group over there? I mean, they're not rude, they're nice and stuff, but they don't worship the emperor. You're going to run into also some Jewish leaders who are going to see Jesus as a threat as well. That's much more complicated to explain. But Jesus, in some of his teachings, like while he was teaching for 3 years, he would call out some of the leaders of the Jews as hypocrites. Oops. He would say, you say that you love God, but you don't. Typically, when you point out somebody's hypocrisy, do they appreciate it? If they're humble and they're honest, they're going to be like, really? You think I'm a hypocrite? Let me fix that. But if they're prideful and they're all about power, they're going to be like, you can't say that to me. And so we're going to end up with some Jews and some Romans who see Jesus as a problem, as a threat. And he's going to get crucified. Okay, listen. Crucifixion is the death penalty in Rome. It's the death penalty in Rome. It's the electric chair. It's the lethal injection. I don't know, it's the guillotine. It's the firing squad. It's the way the Romans put people to death. Today, it's typically considered a form of torturous death because it was really, really long. It took forever. That's not true. It didn't take forever, but it took a really long time. Again, if Rome had not been or had not taken over Palestine, the Jews, there wouldn't have been a crucifixion. Probably the Jews would have stoned Jesus, thrown rocks at him. He had to be Palestine had to be taken over for this to happen. Okay, there are some huge misconceptions about crucifixion that we need to look at. Oh, let me get past these pictures. First of all, oh, I can't make this bigger. Sheesh, man, look at that. Well, sorry. Okay, there were different ways that the Roman Empire crucified people. Okay. Sometimes you could be on a capital T. I say sometimes. Honestly, most of the time, people were put on a capital T. We tend to think of Jesus being crucified on a lower T, a cross. Okay. But typically, the Romans would use a capital T, or even, I don't know if I included a picture, I didn't, or even an X. An X. It's called a Greek cross. Okay. But they would be crucified on a Greek cross. Same way, you're still, I know you can't see me, they're still like this, but they're just on an X. So the other thing that is typical most of the time is they were tied by their arms. Most of the time, tied by their arms. Okay. It was more expensive to buy these nails, these huge nails. These nails, they're huge. They're like 9 to 12 inches long. I'll show you one in a minute, okay? But they're expensive. And so typically people were tied, all right? Not all the time, but typically up here, okay? This right here shows you, I guess I should go back here. There's also different ways to do the feet. Okay, as you see here, you could have them on the sides. You could have them this way, like a plank, or you could have it this way. All right, this right here kind of shows you how typically they would do it. They would put it through the top of the foot. Do you see? Okay. Yeah, that's what it would look like. This is a piece of a real foot that's left with the bone, I'm sorry, with the nail still in it. This over here is not real. That is not real. That's like a model. But this right here is a piece of a foot bone that's left and some nail. Eesh. Okay. Here's what happens. Man, I always act this out. It's hard to do it on a video. Ugh. Okay. So when your arms are up, yes, okay, in a crucifixion type thing, I don't know how to do this. Your diaphragm, what you breathe with down here, your diaphragm is up. Yes? But see, gravity pulls you down. Do you see this picture right here? Where he's like down, like he's kind of hunched over. What happens when that occurs is you can't breathe. Your ribs are pushing on your diaphragm, your lungs. You can't breathe easily. The way to breathe is to actually pull up on your arms, stretch this out, and then go back down. That means you're using muscles. That means you're pulling up on these nails, okay? If there's nails in your hands, which I'll show you in a minute, you're pulling up on those, all right? What happens is people get so weak, they can't pull up anymore and they just suffocate. That's actually cause of death, okay, with crucifixion. It typically takes a while. Jesus's death, dang, I can't remember. Was it like 3 hours ish? According to Rome, I think it was 3 to 9 hours, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but that's considered very fast. Okay. However, I want to show you the hands. There's a huge misconception that the Romans put the nail here in the hand. No. Guys, when you nail somebody, they're held up by gravity. Okay? Look at the hands. Look at the hands. Look at the bones in your hands. Feel them. Okay? They're not big. They're not big at all. Feel them. They're little. If you put a big old giant nail that looks like that into your hand, that's going to break all of these bones. And what's going to happen is gravity is going to rip your hands out. Well, they don't want that. Most of the time, I shouldn't say most of the time, the Romans did do this. Let me move my head. They did this. They would put right here, like if you feel of your hand right here, you have a hole. Kind of feel for that hole. And they would put the nail right there, cross section right here. Okay? You see it right here. That way, if you feel the bones, oh, I'm sorry. If you feel the bones in your hand, I think it's easier to see underneath. I gotta get my hand. My hand, my thumb right here, is right in the middle between two big bones. One over here, this hurts, and one over here on the other side. Those two bones are big enough for the, what is that called? The nail to just rest right here. It just rests. It won't break out because of gravity. But if you have it here, it's going to break out because these bones are not strong enough. Guys, big misconception, historical misconception. They didn't put it in the hand. They put it right here in this part of the hand. Right here. There's this hole right here. It's not quite your wrist. It's a little bit above your wrist. Okay? But it's right here, not here. Okie dokie. Just saying. Okay, so anyway, Jesus gets arrested, is put on trial, kind of a mock trial. And what is his crime? Well, that's a bit of an issue, isn't it? What is his crime? Telling people to not worship the Roman emperor, right? He didn't say that. He didn't say that at all. What's his crime? Telling people that he is above the Roman emperor. Well, when people say that he's the Son of God or the Messiah, he agrees, but he didn't actually say it. So what's his crime? One of the early guys who, when he's on trial, he's like, I don't see anything wrong with this guy. I can't find any, like, what do y'all want me to do? Legally, right? What do you want me to do? And it's at that point that this right here really starts getting pushed out. Well, he says that he's the king of the Jews. Oh, now there could be a crime here. You're like, what? What's the crime? Well, it's this little thing called treason. Oops. Treason is going against your government, trying to overthrow it. By claiming that he's the king of the Jews, what they're saying about him is that he says that he is going to overthrow the Romans. That's not exactly what he said. When Jesus is talking about stuff in the New Testament, he's referring to spiritual king. He's referring to a spiritual kingdom. Right here, when he's talking about a heavenly kingdom that he's the king of. That's kind of what that means. But can it be construed into treason? Yes. So Jesus is crucified. The Romans are like, ugh, this guy, he's not even a big deal. There's just this tiny group of a few Christians. As soon as we kill him, they're just going to fall away again. It'll be no big deal. So they crucify him. And that's the end of that, right? No. See, Christians believe that Jesus was resurrected, that his body and everything came back to life 3 days later, okay? Without the resurrection, would there be a Christianity? You kind of need the resurrection in Christianity. That helps solidify to Christian believers that he is who he said he was. Okay? Now remember, this is what the Christians believe. If you believe that, awesome. If you don't believe that, awesome. Okay? But this is the Christian religion. I've had some people when we did other religions, they're like, Miss, is that true? Is all that Hinduism stuff true? Well, if you're Hindu, it is. Is all that Buddhism stuff true? Well, if you're Buddhist, it is. The same here. If you're Christian, yes. If you're not, you're like, yeah, he didn't come back to life. That's not possible. That's your belief system. Okie dokie. But for Christians, they need that well, they need the crucifixion, of course, but they need that resurrection. Jesus came back according to them. And that is one of the biggest things that causes Christianity to just spread like wildfire. See, the Romans are thinking, when we kill this guy, it's going to go away in a heartbeat. Yeah, no, it spreads like crazy. Guys, this right here, down here, Palestine, okay, is where all this was to begin with. All right. And with the crucifixion, the idea of the crucifixion is this. The Jews, not Christians, the Jews believed that in order to cleanse yourself of your sins, what you've done wrong, what you've done wrong that was bad. Yeah, sins, bad things. Let's just say that. In order to cleanse yourself of all the bad things that you've done, there we go. You have to provide a sacrifice. Okay. In the Old Testament, the Jews would sacrifice like animals and stuff. All right. Well, Christians believe that Jesus sacrificed himself with the crucifixion, and he is the final sacrifice. And then, because he rose again, he defeated the grave. He beat death. Got it? That, especially compared to some of these other religions, was very attractive. Especially the idea of, okay, so he gave himself for me, and I get to go to heaven, this wonderful, perfect place. Sounds good. Especially when you look at the Greek and Roman religions. Greek mythology? Zeus, my head god, hates humans. Why do I want to worship him when I can worship a God who loved me so much that he died for me? Christianity spreads like crazy. All of this, okay, pretty quickly. Are there dates on this map? Yeah, I thought there were. 300, so all of the orange, the dark orange. 300 is where we're about to go, okay, with like Emperor Constantine and stuff. But you see here, 600, Rome is dead. Rome is falling. Rome is about to die. And it's getting pretty close, okay, with 600. Well, just kidding. Rome's dead by 600. But this is showing you how quickly it spreads, all right? That being said, we have a group of men, Jesus's disciples. If you know stories, there were 12 of them. Well, Judas left, and then Paul comes in, so now they're apostles. Who cares? But there are these 12 hardcore believers, okay, who are going to be like the big deal spreaders of Christianity. Peter, one of the disciples, is going to take Christianity this way, okay, especially down through Mesopotamia. Paul, especially, is going to come all through here, Hittite land, Anatolia. He also is going to come into here, Greece, and all the way to Rome. Okay. How do the Romans view this? Are they cool with all this? Yeah. They're not. Look at this word right here. Persecution. Persecution. Persecution is like bullying to a hardcore degree. Okay. When somebody makes fun of you, that's not persecution. That's just somebody being a jerk. When somebody bullies you, that still isn't usually considered persecution. Persecution typically is bullying to a degree that is based on religion or, like today, sexual orientation, not back then, or what is it called? Like your ethnic group, okay, what group you're part of, what's it called? Race, there we go. Oh my gosh, gender, stuff like that. All right, stuff that you can't really control. I can't control, guys, that I'm born white. Can't help it. All right. So that's kind of the idea. Stuff that you can't control, you get persecuted for. And persecution is hardcore bullying. Bullying, like to the point of death. Well, there are some Roman emperors, as Christianity is spreading, who have a major problem with Christianity. Again, mostly because of that issue that Christians refuse to worship another God. They say, we will not. We will not. That was one of the big issues that the Jews and the Romans had. The Jews and the Romans fought like crazy. They butted heads like crazy because the Jews and the Christians say, number one in our religion is love God, no other gods except him. And if you tell me that the Roman emperor is a god, and if you expect me to bow down to him, you got another thing coming. I'm not doing it. So we're going to start having a bunch of Romans who are going to start persecutions, legal persecutions, where it's okay to not give Christians a job, or it's okay to tax them more, or it's okay to, I don't know, round them up and kill them. Why? Because they're Christians. That's it. If you do know Bible stuff, Paul was part of this group. Originally, his name is Saul, and he was a persecutor. He was there when Stephen was crucified. Nope. When Stephen was stoned and considered the first Christian martyr. I don't know if he is or not, but that's what he's considered. Paul was there. This starts immediately. Now, Paul was Jewish, not Roman, but that's okay. That being said, the persecution gets crazy, especially under, here he is, Nero. Emperor Nero. He was a real winner. Even if it wasn't for the Christian persecutions, Nero is a mess. Emperor Nero is one of the Roman emperors. He was just rough, man. He killed his own mom. She gets him put on the throne, and then he kills her. She was a little bit power hungry and a little bit conniving and maybe not the best mommy, but that's still his mom. Nero's a mess. And he literally rounds up Christians and throws them into the Colosseum and lets wild animals eat them. For real, I'm not making it up. He's a mess. There's a story, guys, it's probably just a story. It's probably not true. But there's a story that Nero started a fire in Rome. Now, there was a major fire in Rome. That's true. The story is Nero set it himself, and then he sat there and watched the city burn while he, I don't remember, played an instrument on his patio. That's probably not true, okay? But there was a huge fire while he was emperor in the city of Rome. Well, after the fire, he blamed the Christians. Oh, the Christians started it. So what did that do? Well, that caused Romans to go round up Christians. Nero killed tons of them, and that was kind of the height of the persecutions. Then we get a new emperor, Constantine. Emperor Constantine is a hard one because there's two very different historical stories, which is true. How do we have two so different historical stories? I don't know. I'm just the messenger, you guys. This right here is a bust, a picture of Constantine. Look, he has pupils in his eyes, and it's creepy. Kids are always like, it looks better when they didn't have pupils. Agreed. But yeah, this is the bust, the head of Constantine. And Constantine was raised, just like every other Roman emperor, to believe that he is a god. What he says goes, he is a god. Got it? Well, two different stories. He has a conversion moment. The question is, when did he convert to Christianity? How hardcore of a Christian was he? Because again, we have these two different stories. One story says that he was fighting a battle, okay, and he was like, we're going to lose this battle. We're going to lose. And then all of a sudden, he had a vision. And he heard his name. Constantine. Why do you persecute my people? God? Is that the Christian God? Yes. Why do you persecute my Christian people? In this vision, he's like, so if you let me win this war, then I know that you're real. Well, guess who wins the war? Rome, Constantine. And so one story says that he converts after this moment on the battlefield where he like has a vision of God. The other story says he didn't convert to Christianity until he was like sick and dying on his deathbed. Regardless of which it is, we don't know. Constantine goes down in history as being the first Christian Roman emperor. Again, the degree to how Christian he was, I don't know, but he did do something. 312, okay? He does put forth an edict. An edict is a law. The Edict of Milan. Milan is the city, okay, the city that this occurs in. The Edict of Milan says, we are not persecuting Christians anymore. It is not happening. Religions in Rome have always been tolerated, and we're going to tolerate Christianity too. It is no longer legal to persecute Christians. That is awesome. Except, just because you pass a law saying, okay, we're not going to hate all these people now, does it change people's minds immediately? No. People who are hardcore anti-Christian, just because you said, okay, you can't do it legally now, doesn't mean they're still not going to do it. They're just going to do it kind of on the DL, a little bit underground. Okay, you're still going to have persecutions and that kind of thing, but not to the degree that we saw. Not publicly, not legally, not pushed by the government. Whether or not Constantine was a good Christian man, whatever happened to him on that battlefield, he did choose to do the Edict of Milan, to say no more persecutions. We tolerate other religions, we're going to tolerate Christianity too. Now, again, I shouldn't say most, I'm sorry, that's not accurate. There are some writings about him that say he didn't really change who he was. He still worshiped other gods until his deathbed, when he said, you know what? The Christian God is the God. Again, whether or not he actually becomes a Christian when he has his vision, or when he's on the battlefield, or at the Edict of Milan, or when he's on his deathbed, who cares? He still goes down in history as Rome's first Christian Roman emperor, and he's still responsible for the Edict of Milan, which basically says we have to tolerate Christianity. Whether you like it or not, it's not fair to tolerate the Egyptian religion or the Phoenician religion or the Spanish religion. There's no Spain yet. I shouldn't have said that. Whatever. The Germanic religions and not the Christian. We're going to tolerate it like everything else. We're going to stop there. You're like, wait a minute, miss, we're not. I know. Something else Constantine does, this right here, goes much better with this than Christianity. So we're going to pick up with Constantine and creating Constantinople and the Eastern Roman Empire next. Bye.